Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den Podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
Woo! Well, after some technical difficulties, Eddie's on a cell phone. We got it all figured out, though. Thank you so much for trying to tune in to the state of Orlando City rather than the State of the Union tonight. We got priorities. Things are important. I got my fellows with me. Alex and Eddie, how are we doing today, guys? We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
First, I wanted to talk about how I'm blending into the background right here with the yellow shirt. I didn't notice that.
It's beige. It's beige.
Yeah, gold, really shiny.
No, he's saying the background, I think, for the stream.
As well. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I'm colorblind, and I can even see that.
Do you know what color you are, Alex? Just colorblind.
Whoa, hold on.
He's
there.
white.
Yeah. All right. Just teasing. But now, yeah, after the first half, I don't know how maybe just old age. I'm just still positive, but that first half was really bad, and there was some better. It got better in the second half, and it's early in the year. I want to be positive, and I still am. So
it's important. It's important. Ryder, how about you, man? How you doing?
The first half had me very depressed and feeling validated, and then I got a little bit of hope, but not enough hope from the match itself, but I got a lot more hope in the news. So I think we're going to talk about that. But first, sponsors? Question mark?
Yes, exactly. First, sponsors, question mark. So we'll talk all about the Red Bulls game. We're going to talk all about the news, potential signing. We got stock up, stock down coming back. And Eddie, I think we're gonna we'll go with your K Macho Award. I like the idea of that. We can figure out how we want to do it.
You guys are gonna have to explain that to me.
Man, you just when a player
I'm out of the chat.
When a player's just been K Macho,
right. Every match I give him a K Macho Award.
We talked about my color earlier.
Right. Yeah. Alex, after every match, I always give a K Macho Award. Who's the most the manliest? Who did the manliest performance or whatever, right? It's just a way to applaud them. So I was thinking that we have a segment called the QMA, it's the K Macho Awards, but we got to work on the graphics and all that.
We got to work on something. We'll come up with one every month.
And we say Mike.
Yeah, that's my job. That's my job because I got the Photoshop figured out.
Just passion, graphic design.
Exactly. Well, hold on a second. I did pretty dang good. Okay.
I complimented him last week. I gave him just a fever dream from.
That's really good.
Nah, ain't no AI, ain't no nothing. That's me.
No, really. So. That's actually quite excellent. I apologize.
Unbelievable.
It is.
It's okay.
Orlando City, call him.
Some of those even had the stock images stuff on them, but it's funny. You just mess with a couple settings and you could get that to go away.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I got you covered. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a couple sponsors. First up, Chad McGibbon. If you're trying to buy a home in the Central Florida area, Chad McGibbon's got you covered at Chad McGibbon on Twitter or QR code on the screen. Second, Epic Mortgage Team powered by U Mortgage. If you're buying a home, Leo has you covered when it comes to getting your home financed. 407-844-7696. Eloise, please stop barking. I am in the middle of doing a show here. And last but not least, my man Eddie is trying to get me to get into a life insurance policy. Eddie, tell me why that's such a great idea.
Yes, because everybody, you never know what could happen at any time, and you want to leave your family hanging, GoFundMe's, and the older you get, the harder it is to get. I've been having some awkward conversations where people are 67 and 70 years old, and they're getting some disappointing answers or shocked by the price. So this is one of those things that when you need it, it's too late, and you get it when you don't need it because you'll need it eventually, or someone will. So it's one of those things, one of those big boy things, one of those grown up things to do. So. You're ready to reach out to me. You're ready to be a macho. Reach out.
Well, you made that a lot more. Exactly. But realistically, if you have any insurance questions,
Right.
if you can't contact Eddie directly, reach out to us directly through the podcast. We are always going to be happy to help you
Right.
out.
And a lot of you have. I appreciate that. I'm working on helping someone with their house insurance that DM me today. So
There you go.
it's
All
yeah.
kinds of insurances. He's got you
Mhm.
covered. And you also got Jake here referring to you as King Eddie. So don't let that go to your head, please.
I don't think Jake likes royalties. I don't know if that's a compliment. He's from northern, so I'm not sure.
Especially in these
Yeah,
times.
given
I don't
what's the
know.
royal family, I don't want to be part
I
of
don't know.
that. Yeah.
Just don't
of-
arrest
Oh.
your brother and you'll be fine.
There's only one king I recognize. That's Thierry Henry, King TT.
I was thinking it was going to be LeBron James, but all right, no, that makes more sense for you.
King Jordan.
I mean, not in the
Yeah.
jersey he's wearing. Could be the same thing.
There you go.
True.
Well, there was definitely one comment that just came through, and I saw it. I just want you to know. I'll put that on screen later because it's funny. But let's first go ahead and talk. Let's go ahead and talk about the depressing news first. We took an L this week. Obviously, we don't want to start a season with a loss. It's not common for us to start a season with a loss.
True.
And it was a tough result. I think the only thing that we could go ahead and say about this game is it was realistically a tale of two halves. Realistically, maybe even more tale of 60 minutes and 30 minutes. Tale of three, the thirds. But that first half was probably one of the worst halves of football I think I've seen from Orlando City since 2018.
Right.
You
You have to be in the
and-
trenches to recognize that level of.
And 2018 was the year that we all had so much hope. We all started that season with that crazy win streak to start, and then Matt Doyle was all like,
those
"The
signings.
Orlando City fans," he's like, "You guys are not paying close enough attention because this is not good." And we were
No,
like,
it was another guy.
"Screw
in
you,
there.
Matt."
No, it wasn't the other guy. It was some other guy. We had a nickname for him, and Cleveland.
Oh, was it? It was Bobby Warshaw, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, Cleveland called Bobby Coleslaw. It was Bobby Coleslaw. No, Doyle had a list of all our great signings about what is it? Best 11 winger, assist king. I read off Doyle's what a great offseason we had that offseason. I read off the list as a counter to Bobby Warsaw in support. Had Doyle backing me up only for Bobby Warsaw to be right.
Yeah, he was really right, and we were very, very bad. And this feels like this is the worst we've been since then. I mean, we got bossed by a 16-year-old midfielder. They had a 17-year-old left back, and both goals were scored by a 17-year-old forward. Don't get me wrong, Mehmeti and Julian Hall are both really, really good players. I'm not trying to take anything away from them by their age, but it's also one of those things you kind of look at and you're like, we should be better in this situation. But the first half of the game, we were just on our heels, couldn't get anything going. Adjustments came in the second half. Just trying to recap everything. I think the most unlikely adjustment was Angulo kind of played like a box-to-box 8, which somehow worked really
And didn't
well.
look horrible doing it?
Yeah. We got first appearances from Iago, who unfortunately pretty poor performance. Definitely looked like he was not ready. Nolan Miller came in, first appearance for him. He looked like he was ready. Thiago came in, first appearance, looked the part. If it was not for Maxime Crépeau, this might have been 7-0. That man stood on his head and deserves a lot of praise. And I know a lot of us were kind of skeptical on how he would be, so I got to give him credit where it's due. And then last but not least, we did get one goal back. First we had one goal that was called off by Griffin Dorsey. Handball. It's one of those things. I understand the rule. I know it's a handball, but I can't. I sit there and I say, what the hell else is he supposed to do?
It didn't help. It didn't help anything. It just hit that off that part. It's not like
it was
tucked into his
body
arm.
as he could do.
Right.
Like he
it's
couldn't absorb it into his body anymore.
Right.
Exactly.
He was T-Rexing there, and it hit his arm. And
no, it wasn't even T-Rexing because it was in. If T-Rexing's out,
It was just straight against and
barely
hit
out.
like his elbow. And
right. But I know it ricochets in a favorable spot, but it's not like he manipulated the ball. It's a dumb roll.
he didn't.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I agree. It's one of those things. I understand the rule, but I'll sit here and say, no, every day of the week and twice on Sunday, what else is he supposed to do?
That
You
rule
know,
is akin, instead of like determining whether you manipulated it, they just made a rule that just if it hits your hand and you score, it's a no go. It's just like parents
pretty much.
saying, nah, I don't know who did it. You're both in trouble. Like you both be
Exactly.
quiet in the back of the van. That's the equivalent. Like we don't want to sort it out.
Exactly. But we did get one back, and I want to go ahead and give shout outs to two players on this. First, the move was started by Angulo, driving forward and through the midfield. He put in a pass that was a little bit lucky because it got deflected into to
Oh,
Typhy,
really? I didn't even
who
notice
got
that. I was like, is that the
it.
best pass of his life? Like a
Yeah.
dime through ball? But I knew it was too good to be true. I didn't even notice it. I was so shocked. Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, it was deflected, but then it
Uh,
went through to Typhy, who was in a, he had an opportunity. He could have taken the shot. Uh, Veteran move out of the kid. He knew that Thiago was running in, laid the ball off. Thiago got his first goal for Orlando City. Typhy got his first goal contribution with an assist for Orlando City with the first team. And that was just a thing that was lovely to see. But unfortunately, it was too little too late. 2-1 is the final, and we fall. So, Ryder, I'm going to jump to you first. Obviously, we said that the first half sucked. The second half gave us some reasons of hope. What's your assessment on the game here?
my assessment is the back line is exactly what we thought it was going to be. Crepeau being the exception in goal. The first half stats said, at least on Apple TV, I actually took a picture of it, 8 shots on goal, and we only allowed 2 in. Like, that could have been a lot worse. And considering the pressure that we were receiving, it could have been so much worse. He had a couple of unbelievable saves, and he did a couple in the second half too, but the tactics had changed and it was going downhill from there as far as going back towards Red Bulls. But I think it's mostly on the defense, and anyone that's criticizing anyone up front, especially Duncan. I saw a couple people criticizing him. Oh, why can't he get enough pressure? Why can't he do more things? He's not getting the ball. He barely touched the ball the entire first half. Like, I think he touched it what 3-4 times.
So my stance with that is Duncan. If you watch our games, Duncan is a forward who is very, very reliant on service.
And who did he not get service from?
Anybody. It's one of those things like, yes, I will go ahead and say Ojeda had an off night. Martin Ojeda had an off night. Marco Pasalic was pulled at halftime, which was kind of surprising to me, and I still am surprised by that move.
He was maybe having the best night out of anyone.
And then Cleon, who's phoning in from vacation, Tyrese Spicer multiple times missed him wide open. Like, they're
what I was alluding to. Spicer, I was shocked that Angulo actually got benched and Spicer got started, and he disappointed. He did not come out doing what we expected from him. And then Angulo came on and did that box to box thing and actually did a good job. So,
and that's where I tell people, like, please don't look at foot mob ratings as sage. Like, because if you go ahead and take a look at our foot mob ratings, who were the 2 highest field players that weren't Maxime Crepeau? It was Tyrese Spicer and Adrian Marine. If you look at the eye test, Eddie, were they the 2 best players on the field?
No. Marine is a defensive liability. He just slid. He had a good blocker, slide tackle in the box, and for some of our fans, that's enough to get you hyped up and think he's good. I think don't slide tackle, like be in better positions. But Spicer was dribbling into blind alleys, was holding onto the ball too long, was dribbling with his head down, and he missed chances to combine with Ojeda to Duncan, then right to Duncan. cross that he was trying to take two people on. Spicer isn't a guy who wasn't getting attention before. He's coming in a lot of times as a sub, and then now if he's in a start, he's gonna be defended differently. So he's got to make more wise decisions. He needs to do I would like him kind of give and goes, pass and then run in behind, that kind of stuff, and stretch the defense. But him trying to dribble two or three people all the time and get lost in the blind alley and lose the ball is not what we need from him. The left wing spot is up for grabs. We haven't had production of any sort for years. And he starts an opening day, and that doesn't merit confidence. Maybe, I mean, one match isn't enough to say to end the experiment, but I would love for Thiago to take that spot or something. But and Angulo he looked better box to box than he does as a left winger, at least in that little spell. So we'll see what it is. But after that special performance, maybe Angulo goes back if we keep our shape. So there's a lot of ifs coming into this next match.
Honestly.
Look, Thiago's not going to start until he gets stuck in and plays defense and things like that. You know how Oscar is. So Thiago's a very front-footed player.
It might not have to matter in the long term.
Yeah, he came on and at least showed something. He was energetic. I feel like he did get stuck in running back a couple times to make a couple tackles. So I think that he can get in there.
He can.
So
yeah.
Jake's making the point. There was one play where he tracked back like 80 yards and made a tackle. So it's more than I could say about other players. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but no, the left side, at this point, I'm not a play the kids person. I don't. Maybe I'm lived here a long time, but I don't. It doesn't give me the feels that much when it's academy to that kind of thing like it does for some people. I'm not gonna get someone we're paying a lot of money or a person with a higher ceiling or a better track record to sit down because I want to blood a youth, especially at the beginning of the season. That does not sound attractive to me whatsoever. It's not something I ever cared about, right? In most academies in the world, one or two players come through, the rest get sold or just go and play in different leagues, get loaned out and flounder. Look at your local team. Look, if you like the Premier League, look at your Premier League team, and you could count how many times how many of the academy kids made it through. It's very, very few. So in MLS, it's more advantageous because of the cap and all that. It would be great if they all came through. I'm just saying you got to earn your spot. If you're good enough, you're old enough, right? But at this point, that being said, Marin has been so bad that I am this close to calling, despite Leon probably, canceling his home insurance policy with me by me saying this. It might be to hear Reed Brown time. Yeah, it might be that time right now where bro, he sucks. And to hear Reed Brown didn't stand out in OCB to say, well, we need Freeman. And Freeman stood out. Freeman was a man among kids. But to hear Brown hasn't, but Marin's just been so bad. And now he didn't get a preseason last year, and he came in later. But with the Thiago thing or Nolan Miller and no Janssen for a while, Marin's got a lot to do, and I don't know. Give him another chance, but it might be one of those 60, 70th minute. Let's see what Tahir Reed Brown has to do, because I just don't see it from Marin. I don't, man. I don't.
So there's one other thing that I will go ahead and add to that. I will go ahead and say, I'm not certain that Tahir Reed Brown's ready. He's still a young player.
Right.
Kid is super athletic though.
Right.
Very fast, very pacey, can run with anyone. He's definitely put on a lot of muscle over the last year or so.
Right.
But if he's not ready, I don't want to say, yeah, let's just keep adding players. But Colorado just bought out Sam Vines, who used to play with the U.S. men's national team. He is available. You can just sign him at this point. He's cleared waivers. Right. You could just go for it.
Right.
And since he got bought out,
selling some nonsense the other day, right?
Here's the thing. Well, yes, we did. We got up to 400,000 in GAM for 100,000 this year, 300,000 next year for selling an international slot, which may be an issue, which we'll talk about later.
Mm.
But
True.
my thought process with that is though, like, if you need to bring in another person, like he got bought out. Usually, if a player gets bought out and you want to go bring them in, they'll take a discounted contract, especially to do it because they just got paid that long. Because that's what, you know. I mean, I don't think I need to define a buyout to everybody, but like a buyout means they pay you the rest of your contract. Like, so you know, it's one of those things. If I'm open to trying to hear Reed Brown, see if he's ready. I'm not certain that he is. But Sam Vines is an option that's out there.
100%.
I think we're all sitting here saying that Adrian Marine is just
right.
Not, and Adrian Marine, it doesn't matter what the question is, he's not the answer at this point.
Right. At this point, it's almost like if we need a left center back, like I'd rather maybe try him there. He's not a small guy, you know, and he's not a fast guy. That might suit him better. Just defend. And like, is he gonna go and is Tahir Reed Brown gonna defend worse? Like at this, I'm not saying like go and start him. I'm just saying like if we're blown out or we got some time, like they'd bring in Taifi for a right back sometimes, that kind of thing. Like bring in Tahir Reed Brown. I'm just very frustrated by him. The left side is just we can't get the left side right, man. We can't. You know, Brekalo was fine defending in certain settings last year, but I would like our right backs we've had, you know, this Dorsey looks really good. This would be 3 years of good right backs. Dagger had a good run and Freeman but the left side, can we get a good left back? We've had like 5 games of Joao Moutinho in our history and a couple bangers from Bowden. And other than that, that's it, you know, like 10 years.
It's also a good shout here too for Cleon. He was talking about how Angulo turned into Latif Blessing earlier, and now he's saying other than Sam Vines, Logan and Dembe might be a good shout. I thought he was still under contract with them, but I guess that he's not. So if he's not, I mean, the only issue is because I mentioned it as well. Is international slots. So now I don't know that we can make it work if he is a Belgian international, because I know that he was don't know if we could go ahead and do that.
Yeah, Latif Blessing, that's a good shout. Yeah, that's right. When he went to LAFC, right? He was nasty, you know. Mohammed.
That's a great poll.
Yeah. He had a good run. We'll give him that. Mo, then Sasha. You know, she's, the Deep Blessing is a good shout. One thing Angola could do is run. He's going to track back. He's going to get stuck in. You know, it's just a matter of end product. You know, but the further you away from goal, the further away you are from goal, the less, you know, end product is a priority, so to speak. You know,
and I do think that Jake might have a point here. Maybe we got Freaky Friday'd by Marine, like. Maybe we didn't get the real Adrian Marine. Maybe we got his twin brother who doesn't actually play soccer.
There's some penchant for like the Emmanuel Moss type, the older, slower, you know, like
he's not even old. That's the thing. Right. He's like 28.
He's 28, bro. I don't know. And his legs aren't, you know.
His legs are not 28.
Yeah. I don't know. Rafael Santos is better. I always thought he got more hate. I mean, people made up their mind on Rafael Santos and they never changed it. And that was it. But he was better than people give him credit for.
I agree with that 100%.
He fell asleep a few times, but he woke up people shooting some rockets at the wall too. You know, so yeah, sure he fell asleep. But I'm just saying, what are we getting? All right, sorry, it's long enough on Marine. Please, let's move on.
No, it's fine. Last thing here, as Cleon mentioned, really just move Bracalo back to left back, go sign or trade for some.
Even then, going forward, he when we had Jansen next to him, Brekalo, we had Freeman, and we're still doing it. Dorsey in the first game was used like Freeman, where you know he was super high up and got caught out, which makes sense. That's where you got him, and that makes okay, great. We can make our back three more fine, but when Brekalo was left out wide, isolated, he got smoked all the time, and he's not going to overlap or underlap. Occasionally, he put in a good through ball, but I would like to have I don't know. I would like someone who's a little fullback that's a little more two-way player. Or at least someone who's using the strong foot is the side that they're playing. But is it like safe? Sure, but you know, I don't know. It's better. Yeah, I'd rather have that, but it's not ideal. I'd rather get a Sam Vines.
And I know
For
we
sure.
didn't like the sub with Marco coming out, but Nolan
That was
Miller,
weird.
it was a weird sub, but he actually looked halfway decent.
Well, here's the
Right.
thing. Here's my stance with that sub, and I think it resulted in a shape change, but I think you still could have done what you did and been more effective by swapping him for Spicer and leaving Marco in. Because Spicer still
100%,
just
yeah.
didn't really do what we were expecting or what we were hoping he could do. And now you're just losing the class that you have in Marco on the field. So for me,
Right.
that's my biggest issue, is that you could have still done better by leaving Marco out there, unless maybe like Marco was sick or something and no one knew, wasn't trying to have his Michael
He
Jordan
was
flu game,
nursing something.
but yeah,
Right. Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna go whatever we sort of diamond-y or 4-2-2-2 thing that we did, Marco can definitely has the soccer IQ to do that, and he's
for
much better
sure.
quality. I get why Spicer was in there. Duncan drops in, and then they get in behind. That's the Oscar move. The guy 9 drops in, the 10 and the winger go in behind, kind of go wide, pull it back or whatever, that kind of thing. That's the thing, and I guess he was going with power and pace in the front too. But Marco's plenty rapid and a much better player than Spicer is. So I thought I don't want whatever experiments we did with formations. I don't want a formationers did some worse. Marco's not involved.
He needs to be on the field.
He needs to be on the field. You got to figure out how he can't.
Unless there's
We're
something
gonna talk
that,
to
like
potential.
illness, injury, whatever.
Of course, if available, but we can't. We got to get 3D on the field like that work at some point. We only have 2 right now. I don't want to put just one on. And Ojeda's better when Marco's cooking because it takes away that you get someone in that central area. You got someone who's taking away attention from Ojeda, who didn't have a good game.
And who knows, there might be someone else who's being added that can cook as well. That'll be important to talk about. All right. So enough about lamenting about Marine, about Spicer having a bad game.
Okay.
You got one more thing
Right.
to add, Eddie, before I go to the next part?
Yeah, the Red Bulls. Okay, you guys think with like how much of the second half was the Red Bulls kind of just sitting back and holding that lead, because they still could have scored. 100% could have scored. I mean, without Crepeau, people were saying he was bad. It's insane. I haven't seen that many shots since COVID. It's this guy was just, it's insane. How many people that he was. It was like Vietnam back then. It was insane what he was facing, and I really liked him in the air. He really came out and commanded his box really well. I thought I was surprising given that he's a smaller guy. This guy's like French Canadian David Raya. What's it called? But that was great. But how much of it Nolan Miller doing well? And I don't know if it's just me hating on kids. Shout out Cleon. Or was it just game state? Or was Iago that bad? Or was it was it that I feel like they stopped like pressing, like counter pressing.
Mhm.
We had a little bit more
bit.
space. We started getting on the counter, but all the pass, the weight was off of every pass, the wrong decisions, held onto the ball, Spicer missing someone, Ojeda too hard, and Angulo passing it into the ILF. Like all kinds of different issues where we're such a transition team, we need to be clinical or else it doesn't work. But we ended up having a lot of chances in the second half where we were clinical. We could have gone even or could have scored, or more. But I also feel like Red Bulls got their foot off the gas a little bit. I'm trying to decipher what was game state and what was an improvement.
sure.
But we got out. I mean, Michael Bradley's first career like professional match out coached Oscar in that first half. I mean, they were
Big
up
time.
high. They had man Mark Duncan. I forgot who the defender was, just on him, and we had no outlets. So even if they were sending numbers up and really just combining well and getting into those pockets, if they lost it, they would just counter and win it right back. And even when we tried to get out, we couldn't get out because Duncan was just being like marked hard. And then we didn't have a second outlet to get out from there. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Game state or just diamond or whatever we did and Nolan Miller really made a difference and then box to box on Gulo?
I
think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both.
We had a little bit more. I think Oscar said something at halftime and made adjustments, but
Yeah.
it still wasn't going to be enough. And Red Bull sat back and didn't let anything through. We honestly could have had more, but I don't think they were going to let it through. We let it go.
Their keeper made some great saves. On Horvath made a great save on Dorsey. Great free kick by Ojeda too. So Horvath did it really well too to keep them in it, to keep them ahead.
And to the point where they were talking on the broadcast, which shout out to Evan Weston getting the TV gig, friend of the pod. They were talking about Horvath maybe contending for the national team going into the World Cup. So that's a storyline that we could talk, that might be talked about on that side of the ball.
Yeah, well, I see Jake saying shame it was him with Dax and not Miguel. Well, Miguel was on the Spanish broadcast, so just gotta be more bilingual. Sorry, Jake.
Miguel took a completely disingenuous shot at Cornell. He was like, "Oh, he left him hanging, and he hasn't played a second in Brazil." I was like, "Get him, Miguel."
That's me what I was talking with Goss on Soccer was. He was like, he's like, and now that I'm taking a look at it, it looks like Cornell hasn't gotten into a game yet since he made the move. And I was like, yeah, we know.
yeah, right, exactly.
He's like, I bet you guys have been paying attention to that. I was like,
yeah,
I mean, of course we've been paying attention to it, man. I don't understand.
Got nothing better to do.
Jake did go ahead. You probably didn't see it, Eddie, because you're on your phone. He did cringe at a lot of the jokes that you made. But
that's what I've been laughing at constantly here.
I did leave his comment up there about Wilder just so that way we could go ahead and I remembered to discuss it. All that we've heard is that it's a hamstring injury. He's probably going to be week to week. I will say, thank God it's not an Achilles injury because I would have felt so terrible for him. But it looks like it's a hamstring, and all we can do is hope that he's feeling better. And that goes for Atuesta, who's also dealing with an injury too. So, but I will go ahead and say that's a pretty good segue to go into stock up, stock down, because, wasn't expecting Colin Gusky to have to come in and put in a shift. And I think he did pretty. No, I'm not saying he's going to be my stock up. You can take him. I'll pass it over to you. Go for it, man. I was giving you the segue.
He's my stock up for sure. Coming in, putting in that shift, so short notice. He didn't look fantastic, but coming in off that emotion, he didn't do a bad job, and he's going to get my stock up for that.
Sometimes when you're a young kid coming into those games, you don't necessarily want to be the topic of conversation, because sometimes if you're the topic of conversation, it could be for bad reasons. And I don't think that I felt that he had a pretty quiet game, which means he was tidy, out of the way, and was not he wasn't great or bad one direction
in that
or other.
Position is a good thing.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Exactly. Right. He was very tidy, but you could tell he needs to hit the weights a little bit. Be in a position a little bit. Yeah.
Well, what do you got for stock down then, my friend? I feel like you got a few options.
Stock down, honestly, Spicer. Just you got the start and you threw it away one too many times. One too many crosses, kept the ball way too many times to the point where I was shouting at my TV. Stock down. Sorry.
Eddie, what do you got?
Yeah, stock down. Like I would say Marin, but the stock went very high with me already.
Zero down is doesn't
right. And Iago just got there, so that'll be fair. But he had a stinker, and what's it called? I think Ojeda probably deserves a shout. I just didn't feel like he put an imprint on this match, at all in any meaningful way. But Spicer, I thought, really left a lot hanging. I thought he was very wasteful. I thought we had some good opportunities. He was just dribbling into people. I was not pleased with that, and I was been rooting for him to get some time, and that's how he repaid me. It's rude. But that I would say those stock up. Stock up Angulo was good in that role. It worked. Gusky, shout out to that. Taifi, a moment, but you need more. If I'm gonna give stock up for that. And then what's it called? Stock up would be. Oh, head had a good second half. The other header, Brian, um, but disappointing first half. And Dorsey, I want to say I liked him, but I don't want to say stock up because there's nowhere else to there's nothing to start from. So maybe Angulo, I guess, stock up. And who else? I think it did all right. Oh yeah, and again, Maxine, if he was here next week, he'll be my stock up probably because I don't have
Yeah.
a base point. It feels weird to say stock up for first matches.
Yeah, I agree with you there because
But
that's how
he
I
was
was
better than
going
I
to.
expected. Yeah, Cleon's out there putting his stats. He was just like Pedro. When I was just in my head, I was like, all right, if he performs like Pedro, at least it's for a fraction of the cost. But that was a throwback Pedro performance. That was really good, really good.
That's what I was thinking too. So my
Double
stock up,
digit saves and
yeah,
Yeah,
my
bro,
stock up.
Joe Bendick days.
God, no. Back to 2018. My stock up was going to go to Maxime Crepeau just because of the fact that I was really unsure of how he was going to do. You know, he lost his starting job with his last team.
Right.
Knows it's a big World Cup year, and here's the thing: the two top Canadian goalkeepers are both playing in Florida right now. Which one of them had a better game? Granted, we both took L's, but he played a lot better than Dane St. Clair did, so I got to give him credit there. And then my stock down, I'm just going to be a little bit more pointed with it. You guys are pointing out individual players. I'm going to give my stock down to Poppy because realistically, you know your personnel, you know what you have here. You were able to make those adjustments in the second half and were able to find improvements, but maybe that's one of those things where that should have been the team from the start, should have been the team from the start, should have been, perhaps, we sub Thiago in before the 78th minute. Like
right.
He is one of those things where we're all kind of sitting here.
Does he perform better if he's in at the half? Or
I mean, we don't know that necessarily, but from everything that I've heard from him during training camp and preseason is that Thiago was tearing it up. He was doing awesome. He was doing great. So why was he not into the fold sooner? Why was Spicer left on so long? Why was the Paslic decision made? If Iago wasn't ready,
why Marin there at all?
Why does Marin exist? Yeah, there's there's a lot.
Wow. Hey.
There's a lot of questions.
Here for you, swag.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, but he got out coached by Bradley hard. Like he had figured out the Red Bulls. That was his boogie team, but we were chasing ghosts.
So I don't know what this comment is, but they said I saw a website and Facebook. Messi is coming to your home against Orlando City game on this Sunday. Don't know what that was written by ChatGPT. I think.
Thank you, ChatGPT or Claude.
I will go ahead and say
himself.
I'll believe it when I see it because that man does not like coming up whichever I-275, I-75,
tried
I-4.
to get suspended.
Tried to get suspended. They said no. He's got the friendly in Puerto Rico in 2 days. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but I'm not counting on him coming. But the big news to talk. We talked the sad, we talked the crappy, we talked the bad. Now let's go ahead and take a moment to discuss the news of Antoine Griezmann potentially coming to Orlando City. Let me go ahead and get rid of these media assets here. Close that out so you could see the picture better. Antoine Griezmann to Orlando City. We are in talks to sign him from Atletico Madrid. If you go into the article from friend of the show, Tom Bogert, and I think friend of the show, Paul Tenorio, I don't think he hates us. But because he did used to cover Orlando City back in the day. But the rumors here are Orlando City's trying to get this done now. They want to get him into the team as soon as possible. The window for MLS is still open until March 26th. That gives them time if he wants to finish up with Madrid. He did play a half an hour today off the bench and was a big part of 2 goals. So he's got goals against Barcelona, Real Madrid this year, Frankfurt. He's still got 12 goals this year in a diminished role because Atletico Madrid has just a giant wealth of strikers, whether it be Lookman, Sorloth, Julian Alvarez, former almost Lion. There's a lot of talent at Madrid, and he's just a little bit older. He's not playing there anymore. He's flirted with MLS for a while. Guys, what do you think of this move as a potential third DP? I think in interviews, Ricardo said, I'm not necessarily looking for a 9. I'm looking for an attacking player. This is exactly what that means. Antoine Griezmann can play pretty much any part of the forward line as an attacker and play it well. What are your thoughts on this potential move for Orlando City?
Bad day for Spicer for sure. I think that he can slot in. I don't think they're necessarily going to put him directly at striker solo, and he's not going to go. I don't know. I've been back and forth on this. I would welcome it, but I don't know what the formation looks like. I think it's him, Duncan, Ojeda to the left, and then who would be on the right?
Paslic.
Marco.
Oh, Marco on the right. That's what I see, but it can switch around based on what we need, especially considering we're not very deep at striker. So if we need to move him up at striker and bring Duncan off, we've got a lot of subs on the left side. Ojeda can slot back to the middle. Marco is pretty longevity. He how many minutes did he play last year? He played a lot.
A lot of minutes, yeah.
So we've got backups, like even Angulo could come off the bench. So I would 100% welcome this. I do have a comment though. I do think there is some ulterior motives to this. I think it's to put butts in seats.
Is that bad though?
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's a business decision, much in the same vein of announcing Kaká right after the 2014 World Cup.
I don't think he's a big of a name for that, to be honest. I mean,
no,
he plays on a
but
team.
It's similar.
He plays on a team that's not known for offense most of his career, right? Spell in Barcelona didn't go well. Even the French, when they won the World Cup with him, Giroud scored 0 goals, as the lead striker. So which means, he knows how to play terrorist ball. I mean, Madrid scores a bunch, Atleti scores a bunch right now, but he's been under Cholo, who's like, and then Mencho to Oscar's whatever.
So, watching them today, dude, when he was on the field and they started taking over, they were playing with three strikers on the field. I was just
right. They put 5 on Barcelona the other day, or 4, and like 5 on Madrid.
He had one of them.
Yeah. Right. So they're not. It's not 1-0 ball over there in Leti. I don't think it's a big enough thing. I don't think the average MLS fan really, the average person at the stadium really knows a ton about him, knows who he is. It is the idea I've been saying since Messi, that the idea that this league is like a springboard for people to go to Europe is just, they don't even talk about that anymore on the soccer podcast, all these things. It's not even a thing anymore. It's like a memo came from above. It's just not a thing. So Griezmann's right into, he's not washed, but he's not prime, want to wind down the thing that's plagued MLS for years. So yeah, he's that, but he's still got some juice. I like the fact he hasn't been playing a ton of minutes over there, and it's not because he isn't good. They're just really better people. When
they just got a stacked forward
line.
They
got a stack. Yeah, exactly. And Muriel, when he wasn't playing in Atalanta, they weren't that good. And then I remember people were like, he's got 7 goals. I was like, 4 of them are in the Europa League against teams that can't even pronounce. And
whereas he's had
Razo Chicovia, I think it's like one of them.
Over the last 3-4 years.
Right, the team that has a train that goes next to the bench, that's what he's scoring against. He's what's it called? Griezmann's on a team that could that's up there. That is a Champions League team. Now the fact that they got to the next round in the Champions League today, at least in Europe, they're saying that's not helpful for his case. They asked Cholo, they asked Simeone about Griezmann. He said he's a great guy. He has the right to choose whatever he wants to do. So which didn't sound like a no.
Yeah.
But then other people are like, hey, look, they really want it for the Champions League. They really wanted to make a run. So I was hoping they lost it, to be honest. But they won. So I don't know if how that hinders things or if it's a wait to the World Cup kind of thing. I don't
Yeah.
know. But when Ricardo went to Europe and there was there was the rumors, the connection with Richarlison, who, to be honest, between the two, other than his injury, I think Richarlison probably the better player right now, or he is. I would rather between the two, rather have Richarlison. I think he'd do better. Um, but we haven't been tied to any big name in Europe for a while. And the Nanis, the Kakas, and all that kind of stuff. We haven't. Our name wasn't part of that conversation. Griezmann coming here puts us back in that conversation. He does well here, performs well. He has a good quality of life. This guy loves basketball. He loves the U.S. Give him stuff to Dragon, whatever. Get him some tickets, and it could be a good thing. Would it help with the seed since they're going to sell shirts? Yeah, I mean this shirt they didn't have the thing to put the names on it. I'll put Greasy on the back for sure. I love Greasy. I already got to say, it ain't easy being Greasy. It stay, you know what I mean? Put that
I'm
on the
going to go
poster.
ahead. Here's the thing I'm going to go ahead and throw out there right now. So
Yeah.
he comes in. They're going to go ahead and expedite the release of our third kit, because how good is it going to be having
Please.
him do that press in that new throwback red kit?
Brother,
Like-
if it's red, if it got red stripes like Atleti's, that'll be
I think
better.
I don't think it's going to be red stripes. I think it's still going to have the center white stripe potentially, kind of like the fire. But
Right.
I don't know. It's going to look good, I think.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. He looks good in red.
Bad year
They-
for my wallet.
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
year for
but
my wallet for sure. I understand.
And Griezmann, I know we play that sort of diamond-y thing. Griezmann's made his career as being a second striker, right? That's where he's normally played almost everywhere until Messolini, the tyrant, little Messi, made him play out wide because he was in his space, or made him play in different positions, right? Griezmann is known as a second striker. So if we have our little diamond, then that's great. I don't know what that does with Marco though. That's the disappointing part. I can see Ojeda be the top of the diamond. Where does Marco go, right? Maybe but two of them together, either both are better than Duncan, and maybe he could lead in Griezmann. I mean, in Marco under him or Ojeda under him, and Marco at the point of the 10. I don't know. Who knows what formation we have? But my point is, you got to figure it out. When we need 3 DPs to be productive for the one time in our history at the same time for a consistent period. Yeah, Muriel had some moments, and our DPs performed among the top of the league last year. That was mostly Ojeda and Pasalic carrying it, and Griezmann's also really good as a false nine. Last year when Muriel would drop in deep,
I would
or
like to see that.
Enrique would drop in deep. Remember what would happen? Ojeda would get those darting runs in behind, right? Tuesa will play him in. Someone will play him in, and then we Angulo or someone with speed behind, and Marco, etc. We were killing people. Ask Miami with those dropping deep runs in behind. Griezmann can do that great. So to me, right now, I'd say with the 4-2-3-1, I was thinking all kinds of things. I said 4-2-3-1, put Griezmann on top. Behind Duncan, we don't have another striker really. There's a lot of games, a lot of. We have 3 tournaments or whatever. There's going to be minutes for everybody. And then if Duncan, when you bring in Duncan, then we play 2 up top, right? We pull the left wing and we play a 4-4-2. Griezmann stays in. Griezmann's going to be acclimated. The weather, it's going to take some time. We don't need to come in here. He's playing with Atletico Madrid in a high league. We don't need to come in here and just beat him down with minutes. He's going to basically play 2 seasons. So I think Griezmann starting 9, Marco right wing, Ojeda his best position as the 10, 2 midfielders behind, and then left wing. Let them eat each other. Let's see who comes out from it. We have enough. Last year we proved we have enough without a productive left winger, at least goal contribution wise, to still be a great offense among the best in the league. With Marco, Ojeda cooking, and a DP that was semi-productive. Imagine a DP like Griezmann, because Griezmann's better than Muriel's ever been by far. So so we will. I think that's what I would do. I'd keep it let's 4-2-3-1, Griezmann at the 9, but play more as a false 9, running behind. We're still a team that's better at counter. Griezmann's more 2-footed than people think, but he is left-footed. He can't. He's unselfish player. He can do the dirty work. I think I'd be super excited. Tony Grease and Easy being Greasy, come on down, buddy. I'm excited.
Even just watching him play today, I was like, this guy still has plenty left in the tank. He's still got sauce. He's one of those
Right.
guys. He does play a little bit like Messi, whereas he doesn't waste his movement. If they're not doing anything on the ball, like offensively, he's walking. So
Right,
don't
right.
be like alarmed when you see stuff like that. But at the same time,
Yeah.
when the ball gets moving, he's on his horse. And
Right.
he's still got something to prove out there.
There'll be some
And
fans who'll be like, he's walking. At least this guy runs hard, or put in Justin
The
Ellis because he runs
opposite of
hard or
hustle
something.
merchant, which
Yeah,
might make
yeah.
some people not.
I want brain merchants. I want talent merchants, ability merchants, goal merchants. I don't want hustle merchant. Hustle oftentimes is covering for a lack of ability. You could do both. Do both. Do all of them.
Yeah.
But give me talent
And-
over hustle.
and that's the
And
thing
just
too, like-
Jake, in my defense, sorry, Mike, I was not comparing him to Moriel. I was talking about the dual striker thing.
yeah.
He could be great under Duncan,
Mm.
but he would be so much better than that because he's actually got that intelligence, like you said, Jake.
Yeah. Under Duncan under free roll, it's just where does it? Does that formation put the best of our players out there? Like
No.
a 4-4-2, right? I mean, Ojeda can I've seen him play deeper and stuff like that. That's a waste of Ojeda. And left wing, he's just not as productive. He likes to float left, but being in left, I don't want Ojeda just he's so 1-footed. He's not going to cut on his right. And then what's he going to do? Just whipping in crosses? That's a waste of Ojeda in my opinion.
I'm with you. And like, Jake also mentioned, like, don't Muriel him. I think you got to look at him entirely different. Because if you look at his numbers over the last year and a half compared to the last year and a half of Muriel, even the last 2 years of Muriel in Europe, it is night and day the difference between these two players.
Mhm.
Like, granted, his play time has come down, but his production has not. Whereas Muriel's play time and production were both on the steady decline at Atalanta.
On a worse team and a worse league.
On a worse team in a worse league as well. And the other thing that I will say is because Eddie and I know have been very vocal about this. So has Swag. We're not a team that has ever had a DP that we spent a lot of money and paid a high salary to. Like,
Right,
it's
one or the
always
other.
one or the other. This is a guy, they're basically saying Atletico's pretty much playing a little bit hardball. If you want him in now, you got to pay for him, which means we're probably looking at spending $10 to $15 million to bring him in right now if we're trying to. And he's probably going to be getting an $8 to $10 million a year salary to come play here. Like,
and the same
Los
the same club who loaned Rodrigo de Paul for a chimichurri sauce, and the same club who played such hardball with Miami. But you gotta look, my Atletico and Miami, they got a lot of got a little familial thing going in there. You gotta look at those connections. A little weird,
but still, my point is we're doing something that we haven't done before. If we're spending
right,
a lot of money.
100%. So and
Jake
stock up
mentioned
Wills
it
if this
too.
happens.
It's something that I had posted right like when this news broke, and then Taylor from Orlando City, UK posted later. I was saving it for this podcast, but then this news broke, and I was like, well, now I got to tweet it right away. It was important to note that Thiago came in as the number 7, and right before when it came time for opening day, his number changed to 11, and all of us were sitting there like, huh. Some people didn't even notice it, but I was like, he definitely posted a bunch of pictures with jersey number 7, pictures in 7 taken by the club, and now he's rocking 11. There's a reason for that. Griezmann wears 7, guys. As simple as that. That's why he's rocking number 7. He gave up 7. Even though David Goss did text me and said, he's like, you know what, Thiago should have fought harder to keep it.
Donate to my charity or something.
I would have said no, and then I would have been like, pay me for the jersey number, bro. If you're Antoine Griezmann.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like
charity.
football. Where's my Rolex? Like,
right. I'd say number 7 for 7 digits.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
So clearly all of us are excited. Let's hope this gets over the line
I am.
quick, because
And
I would love to get him in here as soon as possible.
Right. And I honestly think this is given I never confirmed it, but I think Muriel has Oscar written all over it. That this to me, and seeing Ricardo's role increase, and then going Richarlison and all that stuff, this is a Ricardo stamp, for
100%.
sure. Or so
He wanted a big name guy that's recognized on the world stage. He got the funds in order to do it now. He's getting his guy for sure. And I will say, just adding one last thing before we start previewing the weekend, is that they did say in the article that we got other targets. We're still talking with other people too. You know, it's one of those things that if Griezmann doesn't work out, there are other players that we are still looking at. But it does seem like if this deal, as with where it's at right now, if this deal doesn't get done now, it will get done in the summer. So let's just hope sooner rather than later. I think we all would prefer that. So
Right. Shout out to Adam from Cappies. He said that Griezmann wants to come to Orlando to play with the best number 10 Argentine in the state.
in Florida. Yeah,
In Florida.
absolutely.
That was so good.
Absolutely. Absolutely, he does. All right, so let's go ahead and talk Florida Derby at home on Sunday. Miami's way down on the table, guys. Like we're still in a play-in spot. They're not even in that. It's because they got their tuchus handed to them in the Los Angeles Coliseum for the Saturday night showdown presented by Walmart. Am I doing this right? Send us free stuff, MLS and Apple TV.
Right, yeah.
Walmart Plus.
Yeah, 3-0 was the final score for them. Sun and Buanga ran wild. Heck of a game from LAFC. But the defense, Messi was pretty ghosted throughout the game. Very angry, went down the tunnel, yelled at refs. Apparently it was the wrong tunnel, so he can't get suspended for it. But we looked rough too. So this is going to be a battle of two teams that did not look to their potential. The only thing that I will add, as of right now, Messi has not been ruled out yet. But reminder that they have a preseason friendly that got rescheduled in Puerto Rico that they are playing on Thursday night. So our game is on Sunday, but they're going to Puerto Rico to play. I think it's I don't remember which it's like one of the Colombian teams, I think. But that's
Muriel because he owns them.
No, not Muriel. But yeah, they are going to be playing another game midweek. I'm assuming that the reason it got rescheduled in Puerto Rico is because Messi is contractually obligated to play in it. So I think he will probably be playing between 20 and 30 minutes. That might be enough for him to be spent. Thank you, Derek, for mind the gap.
Right. Yeah.
But I Messi or no Messi, this game is huge. Played them twice last year. Both times in the regular season, we got positive results. I'd like to see us keep that thing going. How are we feeling about this game, fellas?
Oh, after that first half, look, one thing I know for sure, Messi's going to get a ridiculous call. Like
usually,
because the refs are on warning. After they're into cross Messi in the last game, so he's going to get some penalty. But yeah, Iago's going to like 2-foot him or something, or whatever. He's going to have some penalty. So we're gonna need to score 2 or 3 to get a result.
Yeah,
I don't know. The second half was more promising. I'm gonna try to be optimistic, but Miami, when they cook, they're cooking. So I'm gonna just try to be optimistic and say 2-2. But part of me, legitimately on paper, the way we started, it looks like a mismatch in their favor. But Florida's purple, and I'm gonna try to be positive.
I love it. So what do you have as the score?
2-2.
2-2.
Ojeda gets Ojeda back on the mark, and then I love Marco. I'm just gonna give Marco a goal.
I love it. What are you thinking, Ryder?
I'm gonna say 3-2 us. I think it's gonna be close. I think we're gonna get a late one. And I'm gonna give it to Duncan. He's gonna play all 90. He's gonna put in a late one, and Messi's gonna try and go in another locker room. But
well, it's early. The first game didn't go as planned.
I think I think there will be changes on the back line. I don't think
that's important that's important to note. I think that I would say there's a 99.8% chance that Nolan Miller starts over Iago this time around. I feel pretty confident about that. I wouldn't be surprised, obviously with Wilder out, Atuesta might not be ready. Midfield's going to be a little bit different. I think there's going to be plenty of changes. I'd like to see Thiago start. I don't know if we're going to be at that point quite yet. But I'm always going to say the same thing anytime we play Miami, and I was actually right about it once last year. Orlando City, 3-0. That's what it is. We're going to beat the piss out of them.
Love it. Wait, what does the midfield look like this match? Is it Gusky and Ojeda?
Do they give Gusky a shot again? If Atuesta is healthy, I think it'll be Atuesta, Brian, and Martin as the 10.
Right.
But if Atuesta is not healthy, what do they do?
Yeah, Gusky
because Otavio's not healthy.
And Gulo.
But Angulo at the 8, baby.
No. Ojeda's in for sure. Brian Ojeda is in for sure. But
Brian.
Brian.
Gusky's
No, it's pronounced Brian.
Gusky's in for sure.
Brian.
Yeah, no. Brian is in for sure. And then this question is, who's the second one? If it's Otavio's there, the Fladoodle there says Otavio's healthy.
Shout out David.
I don't think he'll start. Right, coming back from an injury.
Probably not.
That'll be surprising. But
I'd like to see him get into the 18 though, for sure, or the 20.
Right? Yeah, 100%. But bro, I honestly Gusky did fine, clean. He did his Gervais impersonation where it's just like one touch, two touch, kind of get it out. And but him versus Messi in the midfield, the Paul, that's a lot to ask for a little child. You gotta set them up. So no, I don't want Gusky to start. Honestly, I'll say it right now, controversial. If my midfield, I'm doing 4-2-3-1 again to start. Right, running it back with the same group for now, except maybe Miller for Iago. Marion, he's not gonna get benched, not in this matchup. And then I'm not gonna do Angulo at the 8. Ojeda sits deep. Angulo at the 8. It's just gonna have to figure it out. That's
go for it.
At this point, I'd rather just for this one. We'll see how it works. But he's got an engine. He can defend. He gets stuck in. It's not a bad idea. It's
worth a shot, man.
It's not a bad idea. It looked decent. Yeah,
it's worth a shot. All right.
If we're gonna be a counterattack team, he could sniff out counters and he could start them like he did for the goal.
That's true. He could. All right, let's go ahead and get into shout outs and wrap this thing up. Ryder, I'm going to go to you first. Who you want to shout out this tonight?
I was going to be late to the pod, and Eddie ended up being late, so I was
on time. The computer was issues. I was here.
Technical difficulties. Sorry, right. You need IT support for that.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Taylor Tomlinson. Her new special is out on Netflix today. It was hysterical, and I needed to recover from laughing at that.
Can't wait to watch it.
Mike and I were talking about
today's clips.
Oh,
she's funny.
Go back and watch your old specials. Eddie, you and I need to talk after this.
Well, I saw a clip about her talking about her husband, and then you'd rather be late than rather be dead than her injured instead of late or whatever. That was really funny, and I'm like, I gotta watch this. I didn't know about her. This is the Two Americas thing. I don't know. I didn't know. I knew about Cat Williams special. I didn't know about her.
We still need to talk after, but
sounds good.
Very funny special. Mike, you said you saw her live this summer, so very funny.
Yeah, it was actually on my birthday is when we ended up seeing her. Nice. It's just that's the date that it was, but it was a hilarious show. Definitely at a super old theater in downtown Denver. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, it definitely smelled a little moldy. That's how you know it's good. So,
yeah, right.
What do you got, Eddie?
I like my asbestos with my jokes, Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah. I shout out to speaking of having more than one targets, Kerpo. That was a great performance, man. I don't want to see a keeper make that many saves. So a shout out to him for that. Just want to, because I don't feel like he got a lot of love. It's been very skeptical against him, and that was a macho performance. But shout outs to I had one. Yeah, shout out to the Plaza Live. Saw a show there a couple of weeks ago. Seeing a band called Lettuce. It's fantastic. And then
it smelled like some lettuce in there, I bet.
Yeah, it sure did, bro. Yeah, that was lettuce.
Good kind.
Yeah, it sure did. Yeah, and then I'm going to see the band on this Sunday. I forgot that we're playing Sunday against Miami, so I should be able to pull off both. But we'll probably be up if I leave a little early. It's excusable. So shout out to
we're winning 3-0. It's fun. So.
Yeah, shout out to my dad who's watching, because he was texting me. I'm like, Dad, I'm using my phone. Stop texting. I think you figured it out. But I told him that Messi's going to be in Orlando. He's like, I'm not paying money to see that guy. Respect the pops on that one. Yeah. He said something else, but we'll leave that off for the keep our rating.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, then I'll go ahead and close it out. So 2 shout outs from me. One is first, I'll give a quick shout out to the designated players. I'm going to be having a conversation with them about the Griezmann news this weekend.
Nice.
They hit me up and asked if I wanted to come represent the Lions then and talk to them. So I'll make sure to share that around for everybody so you can see some additional content from us talking about that. Hopefully the deal's closer to done at that point. And then the second shout out is kind of a shout out and a burn at the same time. I want to give a shout out to the movie Crime 101. I went and saw that last week. If you like movies like Heat, good crime thriller, awesome movie. The worst marketing for any movie on the planet, because I'm looking at this cast. It's got Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Halle Berry. Awesome. No one's heard anything about it.
Right.
The only place I've ever heard about it was on your Instagram. No kidding.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I'm like looking at this and I'm like, this movie like was kind of awesome. Like it wasn't anything crazy, but it was a rad movie, especially if you like stuff that's got to do with like heists and stuff like that. And I'm like, the name for it's bad. Like I feel like the marketing was bad, but it is a good movie. So like the burn is on the company for how they did everything. But yeah, the movie was good. The marketing sucked. So
I got one more shout out to some of they have 3 people who are going to be in Avengers, whatever. Halle Berry's rumored to be whatever. But the shout out to like Jared Dillon talked about getting some new food vendors. There's some exciting ones. Adam is back.
Oh yeah.
Adam Cappy's is back in the stadium. And then in light of the one I'd been going to all last year is the Puerto Rican one, Buen Provecho, and hopefully Bad Bunny's amazing performance. It's to get some more attention, get them some business. They do well. They have a lot of tostones with.
I was gonna say Austin
pick your
David
protein.
Posted the picture of the loaded tostones, and I was like, oh
yeah. They have that. They have you pick a protein, chicken, pork, or pork, chicken, and beef. Definitely, I get pork or beef usually, and then they have cassava stuffed. That's the one I get with beef, and then that's delicious. And then they actually sort of asked me, and we sort of consulted on a dish last year. So they were like, we were thinking of another thing like a bowl, and I was like, people like Chipotle bowls, and you already have all of these toppings. You have a little salsa, a little like pico de gallo kind of thing, and you have this yummy mayo, like cilantro mayo, and you got these things. So just put rice and just have like a Chipotle bowl. And I said, people are like that. I'm like, you gotta look at the demographics at the stadium, and the Chipotle does well. And they kind of took my advice. They changed one of the things that was a very Puerto Rican. I was like, I don't know if they'll know what that is. So they kind of took my advice.
You need to stop right now. Jake is crashing out in the chat about the fact that he's gonna wait 10 weeks.
It's like, right. So they have they have that bowl now. Yeah, they have that bowl. I thought because I helped conceive it. Yeah, I thought since I helped conceive it, I'd get a free one. I didn't, but I still, you know what? The worker deserves his wages, so I always pay mine, and they're good people there. But see them and Cappy's and the other places. Buen Provecho is right behind the wall. Cappy's, I'm not sure where they're at, but those are 2 groups who are great cooks. Really interesting stuff that they make, and give them a shout. For sure. So a little shout out to Jared Dillon for trying to bring in the local people in. That was good.
I love that. And Jake, I tried to help. One last shout out for me as we're on our way out. Shout out to AEW. If you're watching Dynamite or Collision this week, I'm going tomorrow night. You'll see me in the background, hopefully.
Nice.
My last secondary shout out is happy 30th anniversary to Pokemon. Happy Pokemon Day on Friday. I'm a nerd.
Ooh, good call. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Pokemon while we wrap this up?
Darkspun.
I don't know what that is. I just know.
Really?
I played Pokemon
the latest generation. It's a Dachshund that looks like a honey bun.
Sense.
I'm very preferential because it looks like my dog.
At first I was like, wait, I don't get it. Now I totally get it.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect. That's a great one. I'm going to show my kid that one. I played Pokemon twice and I won, and I decided that was enough. Retired.
You never win at Pokemon. You just keep playing.
Well,
Nick, I'm judging you so hard for.
Sounds like someone who's not 2-0 like me.
No way, Nick. No one likes Mr. Mime.
What
I'm
about
a Scyther
Mr.
guy.
Rhyme?
Scyther
probably
guy.
doesn't.
Scyther's my jam. So
Wow.
Where's Derek when you need him?
also
Right.
Gabe Kidd's wrestling tomorrow night, Eddie. So I'll get to see him in action. So that'll be cool. But no,
Oh, you
I'm
mean
probably
Jake?
just.
Because I don't know who that is.
Oh, sorry, that was Jake. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Gabe Kidd's wrestling, so that'll be cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and I think I might wear the yellow jersey, so that way I stand out as bright as humanly possible. They should be able to see me behind the ring.
I'd pay you $20 if you have a sign that says Florida's purple. That's your sign.
I'll see what I could do. I'll see what I can do because I don't know that I'm gonna go ahead and I'll get it up at some point. It might not be a big sign, but I'll try and do it.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys.
Well, to all the people watching, thank you so much for tuning in
Thanks
tonight. We love you.
patient.
Florida is purple always. Never forget that. And we'll talk to you guys next time. We'll see you for Den After Dark on Sunday, and then we'll be back on Tuesday with another podcast for you. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you then.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.